I've allowed you to record already, I think.
Okay, so then I will be again
So
begging you to send me. I'm sorry if I bother you, like to send me this.
no
Charlie,
problem at all.
how are you, Charlie?
Yeah, amazing. What an amazing, I've had an amazing day. Busy, busy,
Yes.
busy. Started at 5 o'clock this morning, first call, and now we're 10 o'clock at night. So yeah, it's been a long day, but a good day. Had about 2.5 hours back to back just now with 107 on one call. Then I had 500 on the Insider Club on another call. So yeah, it's been good. It's good fun. We're getting there. There's a lot of fun, a lot of things happening.
Are you okay energy-wise, or you feel like maybe it's too late? No?
No, I've got plenty of time to sleep tonight.
Okay.
But no, it's all good. It's just there's so much happening at the moment for those people that are aware and awake as to what's happening. There's just so much going on. Um, but yeah, an amazing time to be alive.
Charlie, look, I'm ready.
Good.
Charlie, I have to tell you, I couldn't wait literally to talk to you. Okay, so let me start with this. I'm so happy like you exist, like you have no idea. I'm so happy you exist. So here is the thing. Lately, I'm receiving a lot of downloads.
Good.
All right. Like I always had this gift, but I was, life takes you places, you get caught up in this jobs and, chasing money, whatever. So I'm receiving those downloads, and let's start with what happened yesterday, because this is very exciting. So I am watching this whole mumbo jumbo situation in the hospital in United Kingdom.
Yes.
And I'm watching this, and I already know like there is something is off. Like right away I know it's off.
Yeah.
I never watched BBC. I just went on YouTube because I knew that something was happening. So I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, she has the sweater, Christmas, da 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 da. And then the nurse is not wearing the gloves. And I'm like, okay. And then everyone is like, yay. I'm like, something is off. But that was one thing. The second thing, what really struck me was that the second person in line to be so blessed is William Shakespeare. And I'm like, excuse me? So I'm like, and this is the thing, Charlie, I'm so happy to talk to you, like you have no idea. So I'm like, okay, no playing with William Shakespeare. I'm a writer. I actually happen to like Shakespeare. He's not easy, but he was beyond his time. He was ahead of his time. So I'm like, okay, William Shakespeare, I feel his spirit, like he was communicating with me. The evidence, 1 second. This I have since I started to write my novel.
Yep.
No joke. And I said, William, what is this? So I talked to him literally. And today, before our interview, I heard the voice. Maybe him. He said, look at one thing. And I said, okay. Look at the sonnet. It's called Lies by William Shakespeare. I said, okay. So I went, I'm not going to read this because it's Shakespearean language. I want people to go and see the sonnet 138 Lies by William Shakespeare, in which he describes the relationship between two old people, a man and a woman. And that relationship is based on pure lies.
Yeah.
So I said, first of all, if there's an image of a woman who was just blessed with this, and she's making the Masonic sign, I'm like, they have to, because that's what they do. People don't get it still. They have to tell that they're gonna lie, but you just have to go into it. So I'm like, she's lying, and where is the lie? Okay. And then I connected with William Shakespeare, and he actually, that's why they called the guy William Shakespeare, whatever, because it's lies.
Correct. Simple, isn't it?
Yep. It's right. I mean, Charlie, and then I sent you this woman was photographed in the same sweater in October.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's quite an old actress, that one.
So, okay. Now, I'm just curious. Just came to me this question. Do you think this is white hats creating this, or this is still those,
I think
reptilians?
this is the deep state just pretending, because also somebody else picked up on the fact with the old lady, when they went to inject her arm, it still had the cover on the needle.
Oh,
They didn't take it off.
so this is still the leftovers trying, right?
Yeah, they're trying to brainwash us into the fact that this is a good idea. And my wife and I were talking yesterday because we were due to go off to America and the Caribbean for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in a nice house and we overlook the sea. And I said, from my perspective, I have got no interest in traveling until this is resolved, because I can't be bothered with all the bullshit.
Yep. Yep.
And the reality is now that I've been invited to to Trump's inauguration in January next year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
By the way, can I tell you, I really appreciate David Nino Rodriguez. I interview him. He has such a big heart, this man.
he's
You
lovely.
can literally, yeah, when you really interview, you can feel people. He's like such a good man. You can feel the energy of the guy.
I was talking to one of his good friends the other day, and they were saying, "You have no idea how special David is." And I said, "I'm beginning to realize that, he was a love. I've always loved him as a
Mm-hmm.
person,
Mm-hmm.
but this person was explaining to me, as a boxer, he was on a different level from anybody else, and the
You see,
Klitschko's refused to fight him because he was that good."
you see.
Yeah.
No, you can. So he invited you, but Charlie, I want to ask you actually. Do you think? I was thinking to ask you this. I know it's not gonna. I don't think they're gonna really go with those vaccines like everyone has to have it and so on. But let's say maybe they will. Do you think if they will, like, how you feel? I'm kind of confused. I have moments like I feel like this is all a plan. I got it. It's a plan. But then I have moments like, what if they will ask, like, you have, your daughter is in UK, you're in Spain. I mean, even if you fly private, I think you still have to pass through all those securities, and they ask you for the stupid certificate. How do you think this will unfold? Like, when they will stop with this, like before the inauguration?
Just very quickly, when it comes to what's happening, Trump has set a trap for them. He's set this trap for them because he's pumping out the information that we've got this vaccine on its way, and they're ready to go, and Pfizer have got it, and Gates has got it. They've all got these vaccine ready to go. What he already knows is that not one of these companies has followed the correct protocol for testing. Not one.
Yeah.
And just as they're about to go, he's going to ask to see that. Now, he's done this before, and he's made them hang themselves. And and of course, they've used the military to spread all the vaccine out all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done it to spread the vaccine. Trump needs the military out there because what people have forgotten is we're currently still under martial law in America. They're still under martial law. So at the moment, what he's doing is exposing the corruption through the courts, the normal courts. Then it will go to the Supreme Court, which is also corrupt, because we know the DOJ and the Supreme Court are corrupt.
Yep.
But one place that's not is the military tribunal in Guantanamo Bay, where Sidney
Powell goes. Yeah.
is going. So there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes.
Charlie, so here is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm literally, it just comes naturally. Not everything. I have moments like that's why I'm kind of 98% I'm like you thinking, but then I have this little moment when I'm like, maybe, but then I see Trump. I was just talking to Janine about this actually. on my channel that I saw this not rally, well, kind of, in Georgia last Saturday. He went to Georgia, and I watch every time he goes somewhere. I watch because I listen live what he says, and he said this during this rally. He said this: vaccines are coming very fast, da 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 da, and then he said many people actually have already been vaccinated. And I'm like, what he said? Already vaccinated? And he continued and he said, it's called, you caught it. And I'm like, he just said it. Like he just said it, like on the plane, straight to Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So he literally said it like it's called, you caught it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I'm thinking, okay, Charlie, he doesn't want the mask. Freaking masks everywhere. So when there is this point when he has more saying, like, enough of this.
You have to, sometimes you have to pinch yourself to remind yourself that this is all to cover up the global financial reset. So this is all distractions, all of it.
Right, but now the things are in place, right? SWIFT no longer exists.
The SWIFT is still operational because it's still on life support because they're taking off the instruments that are still on there, and they're verifying the instruments to make sure they're legitimate. One thing that Trump doesn't want to do is he doesn't want to do the revaluation and the reset and then land up refinancing bad people. He wants all the bad people removed. So he's exposing them all, and he won't bother doing it until he has exposed them all, so that when he does revalue currency and reset the world's economy, so that the right people get it and not the wrong people.
Don't you think with all those Supreme Courts, all those cases, I have a feeling that inauguration might actually not happen in January. It might happen later on, around March.
It could do, but they have to make a decision by January the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Between now and then, there's no pressure to get anything. There's a lot of people think, oh, this has got to be done by December. This has got to be done. No, these are just normal procedures, but we're not living in a normal procedure time. And all very well, these people shouting and screaming about Biden's one. You have to get it. It has to come out of the House. It can't come out of the mainstream media, and it hasn't come out of the House yet. So, as it stands at the moment, nothing has been declared as yet, and that will remain whilst the matters are. There's 280 court cases going on.
Wow.
Trump only needs to win one of them.
Yeah. But Charlie, I have to tell you, it's interesting, like when I look back, it feels like, centuries ago, but it was a few months ago. I remember it was actually June when I came across informations about who has already been arrested, not from you, it was from different source, but it was actually very trustworthy place.
Yeah.
So I when I read this, again, I resonated with me. Actually, I heard this, I read this, I had different, and after that, I knew it, the sense of peace came over me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it's okay. I mean, it's not easy time, but I felt like the worst is really behind.
It is.
And then literally, I think it was a week after I found you. You see, it's amazing in the universe. It's like the same energy, like your presence came, you were on the phone walking, Jesus loves you. And I'm like, this is it. And then I just follow you. And I said, because I knew this is exactly the same thing we're talking about. And I accept that completely, although I still have those little moments when I'm thinking, why those people in UK are like buying this? Like, why?
Well, look, Ania, at least you're thinking. Half the world's not even thinking right now.
No. I know, they are not thinking.
No.
Is the TV, is the frequency, the radiation from the waves.
Exactly.
No, that's what it does.
This is what we want people to do. We want people to think. We want people to ask questions. You don't have to take my word for it. Go and
Yeah.
do your research and find out. Find the truth out.
Why it's William Shakespeare, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Can you imagine? So Charlie, can I tell you some really cool story what happened to me? You will love it.
Go on then.
So I could care less about Netflix, okay?
Okay.
I don't care. But something told me, you know what? Subscribe just for like few days and watch the whole Crown.
Okay.
Because I used to, I mean, not the whole Crown, the four series now, the fourth season. I watched before I knew all these horrible things. So I said, all right, something told me, I listen, sign up. 3 days, I watched the whole thing, sign off again, no more Netflix. And when I was watching, I was looking at all of this and I'm thinking, okay, why I want to watch this? So here it comes. A day after or two, I'm waking up and early in the morning, I always have this like very receptive energy and stuff comes. And I had a vision, Charlie, literally, like I see you. I had a vision what happened to Princess Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
So I saw, because it happened to be that actually when I was in Paris, I never stay in Ritz Hotel, but I visited Ritz. So I know how, you know, the corridor is, how the entrance is, where Hemingway was drinking. Okay, I know this. So I saw the entrance of the hotel. This was during the day, this day when she died.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the couple entering this hotel. A woman was wearing a red coat with black trim, red hat, black trim, black hair. She was like the opposite of Diana. So she was like black hair, big oversized Jacqueline Kennedy sunglasses style. And she was with a man, and man posture was similar to Dodi Al-Fayed. Okay, very similar. And they entered the hotel, and then I got like a snapshot. And I saw they were in the penthouse. And they switched the roles. And I'm like, why am I seeing this? Like, why am I seeing this image? So they switched the roles, and that woman became Diana. I don't know if it was a clone or something, but she looked like Diana when she got into the car with that man. And I felt like, I didn't hear it, but I felt that she is alive. And I knew it like 99.99%. Okay. So then after this happened, again, the spirit told me, go and research more. So I never care. I was not like royal family. I never care about this. Okay. Like I was not worshiping Diana. I appreciated her, but she was not like my idol. So I couldn't understand why. So I'm researching, and then I found this lady. Actually, I might be interviewing her, so I might introduce you to her. And I see this video on DuckDuckGov, not on Google, on DuckDuck.
Yeah.
And in this video, Charlie, this is so fascinating. She was showing Instagram of Madonna, the singer.
Yeah.
By the way, this one, again, no longer with us. People have to like face it. This is not real person there, okay? And she was showing Madonna, I think it was like Easter time, with the Corona typewriter, a lot of symbols, Corona typewriter. And then Madonna had a record, I think last record was called Madame X, Madame X, like X. So this woman was connecting the dots. What happened to be, I break it down short, the dress that Madame X, it's a portrait of a woman. It's in a beautiful dress, like a V-neck, very elegant. I don't know how old, but let's say from the last century. Very similar dress was wearing Diana when she divorced, right after divorce with Charles. Like this first appearance, she had this like a rather short dress, and everyone was like, oh my God, this is so like brave. So Madonna actually posted that Madame X didn't die in Paris. And I was like, oh my God. So I started to like connect the dots. And at this point, then I had reading with Janine also a few days ago, because Coco Chanel started to talk to me, Charlie. That's another thing. People think I'm crazy now. They're like, what happened to her? I'm like, no, just things are coming. Like the spirits are communicating with us. Let's just accept that, because we are raising higher, so we are closer. Okay, that's what it is. And Coco Chanel had a connection with Diana because Ritz Hotel and all of this. So what I want to tell you, I am beyond what's happening right now, because I'm receiving those things. I'm not the only one, but I'm talking to you. This is incredible. She is alive, Charlie, and she actually, I feel she was very crucial in giving Trump informations about royal family. That's how I feel.
I think you could well be right. There's been a lot of people in the truth community who have a number of people. She's one of the top names, and along with John F. Kennedy, and that they still believe are alive. Um, from and I've had a number of spiritual people who've told me that they're both definitely alive. And because I'm not in any hurry to find out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very peaceful about it. It'd be lovely if it did. It would be absolutely wonderful if it came true. But I haven't put myself in a position where I'm going to say, yep, they're definitely both alive. I'm just prepared to wait and see with a very open mind and an open heart.
You know, they met each other, Charlie. JFK Jr. and Diana. They actually met each other. I was checking if they ever physically met each other. And apparently, because she passed away first, she knew what's gonna happen. I think she knew the plan exactly. So she created this scenario, but in a way she inspired him to fake his death. And I think that will make sense, because now the Q thing, there is a song which is written by the Smiths. There was this group, like a rock group, the Smiths, and it was called "The Light That Never Goes Out."
Mm-hmm.
And that song, if people go and look at the lyrics, that song symbolizes. The song is talking about a love, true love, about two people. One person is saying, I could die in the car crash with you, even if the bus truck drives through us. It's an honor to be by your side. Like literally, and it was written, I think about 10 years before she died.
Wow.
And then the light that never goes out, actually, if you think about John Kennedy's graveyard, the father, there is a light that never goes out.
Yeah.
There are so many things to connect. Like it's really a group of people.
Well, we're in a period of time right now, which I choose to call the Great Awakening, and we're waking up to the truth about things. And it doesn't surprise me one little bit that you're getting downloads, because that's part of the awakening. You start to see things with clarity.
So Charlie, did you ever met anyone from like royal family in person or no?
Yeah. I met Princess Anne.
How was she? How was your feeling about her when you met her?
I liked her. She was very down to earth. She was doing a lot of good work.
Okay.
The particular time we were at Bristol prison, and there was a symposium where they were discussing the conditions inside the prisons 30 odd years ago. And she was a guest of honor. And Terry Waite was there.
I don't know who's that.
Terry Waite used to be the envoy for for one of the bishops, the Archbishop of Canterbury, or one of the religious leaders. He was the envoy. So he'd travel around the world doing his stuff. And he got incarcerated for 3 years in solitary confinement whilst on his travels. I can't remember which country, whether it was Iran or Iraq or somewhere out there that he was incarcerated. But they were discussing the amount of people in prisons, and Michael Howard was Home Secretary, Michael Forsyth was Minister for Prisons, and Derek Lewis was the Director General at the time. And there was a high-powered panel, and at the back of the room there was a number of prisoners that were in for life. One of the prisoners stood up at the back and said to Derek Lewis, um, "You said that you were going to work towards one man, one cell for people in prison for life, and I'm still sharing my cell with two other men." And he started to justify because of the numbers going up, etc. And Terry Waite, Princess Anne, leant forward and looked at Terry Waite. And Terry Waite was a 6'7" tall man, very tall man. But he got up very, very slowly, and it was just like he continued to go up and up and up and up and up. It's like, wow, he's a big man. And he just looked at this prisoner and he said, "What gives you the right to think you deserve a cell by yourself?" And Princess Anne led the applause because we try and make excuses for these people, but he was very accurate. And then we had some food at the um, Bristol Rugby Ground, which was or the Bath Rugby Ground at Bristol in Bristol. Or was it? No, I can't remember whether it was Bristol or Bath that played there. And at the rugby ground, we had lunch together, and I was sat at the same table as her. And I found her. I found her as a person very easy to talk to, and um, you know, just a good person. That was just my personal experience in her company. But
Charlie,
yeah,
you mentioned in one interview that you met Putin's clone.
yeah, in the Kremlin.
Why did you met? Why did they send the clone? What was it?
I don't know. I just know that when I was talking to him, the one thing I've learned about clones is they don't have a soul.
Mm-hmm.
And you know better than anybody, the eyes are the window to your soul. When you look in somebody's eyes, nothing there.
Nothing. It was nothing, huh?
There was nothing there. And that's when I realized that I wasn't talking to Putin.
So did you ever met the real one or just clone?
No, I believe I did, but I know he's got 10 of them, so I don't know. You just don't know. And he's very much a man that you go in and do business and leave. It's with my type of business, it was in and out. It was you may have a
Mm-hmm.
discussion about something, and he'll have other people once he's approved it. He'll have other people deal with it. But in
Charlie, can you tell me more about? I actually listened briefly this morning to Pompeo. He
Mhm.
was I think in Atlanta in Georgia talking about Chinese students in United States. All this what's happening with the data, how all these horrible things like the corruption. I mean, he was not saying like straight, but kind of. What I would like to know, because China is still a threat as far as information threat. Now, you always say this, that this was the communist China, this was the Communist Party, right? I would like to understand when you say it like I respect your opinion and your voice, so I trust that. How is it, for example, if they are still like presenting, the military in China and that they are quite dangerous where they are heading with this idea? So what's really the truth here, Charlie? Like, is China a threat or is not a threat? I'm just curious.
95% of the Chinese people are absolutely lovely people. Nothing wrong with them. You're talking about the people who are leading the CCP. They're the
Yeah.
dangerous ones. And it's a bit like America. 80% of the Americans are voted for Trump, but you've still got a nucleus of political left-wing extremists that are evil, and they're as bad as the Chinese. The Chinese, the CCP in China are bragging at the moment. They have total control of Biden and total control of America. That's what they're bragging in the Chinese media.
Yeah, but Biden is no longer with us. So who they are in control of?
Well, exactly. They're in control of his clone that was probably made in India because it was so poorly made. Probably wasn't even made in China.
So you don't think they know, Charlie, that Biden is no longer with us?
There's an arrogance about them. There's a complete arrogance about them that they think it's impossible for them to lose. It's a bit like Hillary Clinton 4 years ago, didn't even have a speech because of the arrogance of the woman. She never, she paid so much money to guarantee she'd won, but she hadn't considered the secret majority. And that's why this time they went completely overboard. And that's what's caught them out. Is they've actually got, when they announced in one state that Trump had 75% of the vote, and then they came out half an hour later and said, yeah, Trump's got 75% of the vote and Biden's got 131%. Now, anybody with a brain cell will go, something's wrong. Not with them.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's definitely got 131%. 100% sure he's got, and it's just like, this is the arrogance of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very arrogant people. And they actually think that you and I are stupid. They
yeah,
don't
not
give us any credit at all.
No, they do because they put William Shakespeare. But
yeah.
Charlie.
You know what the woman's name was, don't you?
Keenan, Margaret. I was actually researching. I was trying to find out what is the symbolism behind that.
I thought it was Minnie Mouse.
No, Margaret Keenan.
No, I'm taking the mick.
But Charlie, there is a portrait of a lady whose name is Margaret Keenan, and actually she is in Washington, this portrait. Yeah. I was just trying to find out. But I want to ask you, so how you think in China this will unfold? Like, can you tell me this dragon family? So let's say this Communist Party no longer in power, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand because they are a force. They are quite powerful force in the world.
Yeah, they are. But you're talking about this being weakened right now, and the bulk of the Chinese people, the dragon family are from the Himalayan descent, so they're the elders of China. They're not communist.
But they don't have any saying in this?
If you understand anything about the Chinese mentality, they're very much, they're behind the scenes. They're not aggressive. They don't do it in that way. They do it in a very laid back manner, and they wait for evil to expose itself. And they've got all the time in the world. They've got a history that goes obscene amount of time, 6,000 years they've got records of. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're not in a hurry. They'll wait, and then the Himalayans have sat back for years waiting for this moment, and they'll deal with it in their own time, and they won't be rushed.
I used to work with some Chinese co-workers when I worked like for Chanel.
Yeah.
In the Wynn in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you that for me personally, I found their work ethics were incredible. Yeah. It's not the easiest to have a coworker in sales like this because they are they just go, they have no mercy, but they are incredibly dedicated workers, and they are almost like I feel like they are born with this sense of their duty to be productive and to succeed in life. Like they have to, they are born to create and to be productive. That's how I felt.
We should all feel that way.
I know.
And you're absolutely right. That's exactly what they are. I like them as people. I always have done. They're very proactive. Mm-hmm. And the way that they're not the biggest race in the world. They're very humble in their way. But there's a lovely saying that if you kick one Chinaman, they all limp. They all feel it. They stick together, and that's a good thing.
So, Charlie, what would you say to focus now on. Let me see, because I have question. I just went with the flow. I have a poem for you here. I have poem for your trolls.
Okay.
But this will be the final nail in the coffin for them.
Go on then.
You still have trolls, right, Charlie?
I don't know. I don't listen to them.
Okay. But someone was like harassing you, I heard, right?
Oh, look, I'm on my fourth wife. I'm used to harassment. So getting a troll is like that's like a little tickle under your arm.
And your wife wants to go on the cruise ship. By the way, I used to work on the cruise ship. Which one she wants to go to? Which cruise line?
I don't know.
You can email me. I can advise you the best. Seriously, I work for 3.
Okay. No, she's looking forward to coming across to America. And of course, my autobiography comes out this weekend. So that's going to be fun. And we've been asked to do a book tour of America.
Oh my gosh, Charlie. Okay, so if you come, I have to go and see you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna sign for me in person. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
For real.
For real, yeah. We'll come over for the inauguration and then do a book tour.
It's amazing. I'm so happy for you. So the next step will be like a movie or something, right? Or like telenovela, Charlie.
I know they've asked me to do a movie, but we'll wait and see.
So before I want to say this. Tara, because I have to shout out to those people behind the scenes. Okay, Tara, God bless you. Okay, God bless Tara. She is incredible, top professional. Booking with Charlie, with Tara, top notch, 6 stars. Amazing, Charlie. She's amazing. Then Lee Hamilton, right? Lee Hamilton is an angel, literally. Like he helped me. He's advising things. Charlie, you have like seriously angels around you. I'm telling you.
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels. You have like the whole, heaven. So I want to read this poem. This is probably the best thing that came out from The Crown from Netflix. When Margaret Thatcher was saying this, who knows, probably she wasn't, but I love this. So this is for the trolls. It's poem by Charles Mackay. Okay, I'm Polish, excuse my English if I make mistakes. You have no enemies, you say? Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been the coward in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. Absolutely well said. No, with trolls and that, at the start of this journey, there was a couple of them that I got them on the show just to talk to them. And you find out that it doesn't help you and it doesn't help them. I'd much rather forget the trolls and stick to the people like yourself who've got a positive message. And that's what I've tried.
Really, but do you have death threats? I heard.
Sorry?
Death threats.
Oh, a couple, yeah.
But those are like lunatics. Like, I mean, do you take it seriously, or because sometimes you never know?
Oh, I don't even know. I came into this world with nothing and I'll leave with nothing. If they kill me early, I'll go and see my son. It's not a big deal. My wife would be a bit upset because she'll have to clean her own car. But
that's why I like
God will look after me. I don't need to worry about man. When you've got God on your side, that's the last thing to. But the last thing to worry is man. But I suppose or woman, because they're more dangerous.
Turkish women, right?
Exactly. The only person that's going to kill me will be my wife. No, when people look, dangerous people don't threaten you. I've learned that in my life. It's only weak bullies who threaten you. When they threaten to kill you, you say, "Yeah, of course. Come on, then, have a go." If you're going to go and kill somebody, you don't advertise it.
That's
Suddenly
right.
suddenly you get an axe through the back of your head when you're not expecting it. That's why I sit with them back to the wall.
It's like the small dog that barks the most, like he's
Oh,
dangerous, and then the big one comes, one shoop, and you're gone.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
No,
Charlie, do you think we will be? I feel that, I mean, honestly, I feel like California is red, by the way.
yeah, definitely. Totally red. 80% red.
Yeah, and I think I'm just thinking how they gonna do this to clean the swamp creatures.
They're doing good. He's doing a good job. It's all working. It's going really, really well. They're just making sure they get them all. That's all. Nothing more.
You know, they better do, because on the iPhone yesterday, I'm like, what is this alarm? So they sending alarms now. Stay at home, alert, alert, alert. I'm like, excuse me? Literally, that's like, can you imagine? Like, you have peace of mind, you like namaste, and then it's like alert, alert, stay at home, emergency, emergency, COVID, 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 COVID.
Oh, dear.
California, hey?
They're mad, aren't they? But you know as well as I do. This is between God
Yeah.
and Satan, and Satan's an evil little bastard. We just got to remember that and don't underestimate him. Don't undermine him. Just let him. Just be aware of him. He's trying everything he can. He knows he's lost, but uh, he'll do all these horrible things, and we're seeing it with the where they're desperate to push this vaccine. That's just Satan
You
pushing.
know, Charlie,
Hmm?
I had a guest yesterday, I want to tell you, because actually when he was saying this, you came to my mind right away. And I tell you what he said. I had a very special guest. He's an author of the book, one of my favorite books, which speaks about that our soul is planning our life before we are born. It's a really special book. I will send you the title. I think if your wife likes to read, she will love the book. It's very easy in English to understand. Anyway, special man, special, special, special. So he said something like this, that we already went into the fourth dimension. And because of our rising, there's more light coming in. If we go higher, there's more light coming in, which it's natural because the light then spreads more and exposes what is dark. So there is no way of changing this outcome really, because we are not going down, we are only going up right now. And I know that it's hard for people sometimes, and I understand that, because they think, but how this is going to be? Because we were accustomed to live in this darkness for ages and ages, that is hard to imagine like how this can be different from what it used to be.
Yeah.
But we will never go back to what it used to be. We don't want to go back to what used to be.
No, no. But we're nearly through it. We're nearly through it. And this is all part of the journey. And when we come out the other side, we'll come into a far better world.
Yep.
It's not controlled by evil. We're not slaves to debt.
That's right.
We're on the right path, and we're doing a really good job, which is great news.
Charlie, I let you go because I always feel guilty when it's so late when we talk.
No, today was a long day because it's my sixth interview, and I started at 5 o'clock this morning. So I've
No,
done
it's okay.
five. Where are we now? 10. Done. Yeah, 20. I don't know how many hours we've done. Yeah, quite a long day.
But I always appreciate you. I'm very grateful for you. You know this, Charlie.
Yeah, no, I appreciate too what you're doing too. It's very, very constructive, and you've got a lovely way about you. And we're all pieces of a puzzle. I'm no more than one piece in that puzzle. I'm just trying to get all the pieces that fit around there so that the picture becomes clear.
You know, I will be actually. I have another guest I'm bringing to you this month. Someone you never met. And I will talk to you with Janine also before the
Yeah,
new year, so maybe people can hear about the new year. Janine is incredible, you know, she's amazing.
perfect, excellent.
And yeah, and I just want to say thank you to you. You know, Charlie, you literally you were sent by God into my life. You were. You changed my life. Because you were like this you were like the sign for me to finally start expressing myself in a different way that for many many years I was not doing, and I didn't know like how to go about it. And then I came across you, like God put you on my path, and I said I can just talk to people like Charlie, and I
Yeah.
can connect with people like this, and just as I am, you know, with all the imperfections and everything.
Hey, don't you? I can't see any imperfections from here.
No, they
I'm the one
are.
that's got the imperfections.
No, you're very kind. You know, I think there are quite some, but I think it's actually important that we have both sides.
Of course, definitely, definitely. Well,
Thank
thank
you,
you
Charlie.
so much. I really appreciate that. I really do.
And my love to you, and my love to your wife and Dustin, and I hope everything is going as always according to the plan.
Everything is going absolutely perfect. Thank you very much, Anya.
Thank you, Charlie.
Lots of love.
Love, love, love.